Good morning. It's my pleasure to welcome everyone to the Rosenstiel Scholarship Celebration. I'm Rami Avisa, the Dean of the Rosenstiel School. Again, thank you everybody for joining us. I want to take this opportunity to say thank you, a big thank you to all of the supporters and everyone who has joined us today. In a few minutes, we will hear from faculty, alumni, and students who will share their stories about the impact of the scholarships and the impact that the scholarships have made on their lives. Obviously, for a school like ours, scholarships is absolutely vital. We are an institution that is working at the cutting edge of the research in the marine sciences, generally speaking, as well as education. We are very proud of the fact that we are one of the top schools in the country and maybe in the world. And our mission of education is completely parallel to our mission of research. We are a private institution, and the reality of a private institution in the US is that the tuition is not a cheap deal. And unfortunately, many of the students, very talented students, that are very motivated to help us solve the biggest problem that the humanity face, are unable to attend the school. The scholarship is the tool that allows them to come and share their passion and vision with us. Without the scholarship, this would not be possible. Again, we are not different than other private universities from that point of view, and we have to rely on tuitions and or scholarships. So this is absolutely crucial. The school has decided to focus on four crucial issues for society, or that society is going to be facing certainly in the next few decades. One of them has to do with feeding the world, right? Population is growing. Unless we understand better the way that we are going to be able to produce proteins, it's unavoidable that people are going to go to the ocean and pull from the ocean the existing protein. This is going to cause the devastation of a species. It has already started, but this is certainly going to be aggravated as the population grows, and obtaining protein in a different way is not easy. So we have decided to put a focus on an area which is called aquaculture, which is the parallel to agriculture, but in the growth of protein from the ocean. So that's one area where we are working and educating our students. The second one has to do with saving lives. I think that to the community that is listening here, I don't need to emphasize the importance of hurricane and tsunamis and earthquakes. And so a branch of the school is focusing on the capability to do a better prediction of all those natural disasters that are happening, so that with better prediction ahead of time, we can develop better emergency systems and help people evacuate, so that we limit the danger, or we reduce considerably the danger for people living on the shorelines or everywhere that a natural disaster is affecting. The third one is about protecting our marine resources. The best example that I can think of is the coral reef, which is also one of the focus of what we do here at Rosenstiel. Understanding what is happening and the impact of the changing climate and the pollution that is existing in coastal area is affecting considerably this crucial resource for the ocean, or this crucial ecosystem for the ocean, I should say. And so we are dedicating a lot of our effort to improve our understanding of what's going on And in fact, we are farming the coral reef so that we can reimplant it in the ocean to try to save and protect what we have. The last initiative that we have is about unlocking the ocean secret, which is the fundamental research that we do in the school. The fundamental research on its own leads many activities that have implications that it's sometimes hard to predict. The developments of computers and the new technologies to even manufacture printing food, okay, or printing organs for human is a part of this fundamental research. We are not doing this type of thing yet at the school. We are doing other fundamental research on understanding better the deep circulations of the oceans, the climate in general. But medicine, in fact, we do some fundamental research in medicine as well. So multiple areas that are helping society in different ways. So these initiatives again underscore the need for philanthropic support for our students. Together, we can expand and accelerate research and academics to address and provide solutions to the myriad of issues facing the planet. Our faculty and our students are at the heart of this important work. I have the pleasure today to introduce Dr. Peter Ortner, who was instrumental in creating a scholarship to memorialize the life and work of one of Rosenstiel's professors, Dr. Linda Farner. Together with her family and many faculty, alumni, and friends, an endowed scholarship was created in her name. Dr. Ortner is very well known in Southeast Florida. He's the former director of the Cooperative Institute of Marine and Atmospheric Science and a research professor at the Rosenstiel School since 1978. Prior to coming to Rosenstiel in 2007, he served as the chief scientist and acting director of the National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration Atlantic Oceanographic and Meteorological Laboratory, which is just located across the causeway from the school. Peter is one of the world's experts in studying the ocean and its living resources through acoustic and optical techniques, which have been primarily applied in the context of multiple interdisciplinary global oceanographic program. Dr. Ortner has participated in numerous research cruises throughout the world, including the Atlantic, the Pacific, Indian Oceans, the Arabian and Caribbean Seas, the Gulf of Alaska, and the Gulf of Mexico. He has published numerous scientific publications and has served on numerous scientific advisory panels, including as national chair of the University National Laboratory Systems, or UNOS, as it is known by its acronym. He is currently the vice chair of the Federal Ocean Research Advisory Panel. Dr. Ortner has mentored numerous Rosenstiel graduate students and postdoctoral fellows. He is one of the founders of the Ocean Scope project, a long-time collaboration with Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, which has generated vital oceanographic and atmospheric data. Peter, please.
Well, first, let me give you a little background about Linda, because her background is unusual. She grew up in Iowa, went to school out there far from the ocean, but dreamed of the ocean. And after college, moved to the Bahamas and South Florida to pursue this passion, becoming an avid sailor, living on her boat in Coconut Grove at Dinner Key, and often making sailing trips to the Keys and the Bahamas, solo sailing, which greatly impressed my wife. She was a passionate lover of what I consider our unique marine tropical environment, conserving it, preserving it, understanding it. And this passion led her to enroll as a graduate student at Rosenstiel. And She eventually graduated with her PhD in 1978 in biological oceanography, the same degree I have from Woods Hole. How do I know her and how did she come to our family? When I moved here from Woods Hole, she was still a graduate student, but I was also an avid sailor and kept my boat in Coconut Grove. We became sailing buddies. For many years, our family, Linda and others in the Rosenstiel community, celebrated all our winter holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, afloat, all rafting our sailboats up together, mostly in South Biscayne Bay and Card Sound. Linda became much more than a friend. In fact, she became family. She and her last boat, the Lollipop, a trawler, she left sailing in the end, kind of indelibly printed in the memories of my daughters who grew up with her memory on Lollipop and the tag team pancake breakfast that we would author. Why is she so important to Rosenstiel? Well, she never completely abandoned her own research, but very quickly began to devote herself to the educational enterprise, serving as the long-term director of our undergraduate marine science program. Until recently, many of you may not know, the undergraduate science program was not an official part of Rasmus. And this is an important thing to her legacy. Nonetheless, as I can personally attest, we're switching from personal to professional here, she was absolutely relentless in cajoling Rasmus faculty into teaching courses, giving less lectures, and most importantly, into incorporating these undergraduate students into their own research programs out here. This is great. And many of these eventually became Rosenstiel graduate students. In my view, the present diverse and fully integrated program is really her legacy. It would be impossible without her contributions. Her impact on the students cannot be exaggerated. The students in that program all knew she was available to them 24/7 to freely provide both professional and personal support for these kids. She took more than a few on sailing/research trips. She kept in close contact years after their graduation, doing whatever she could to facilitate and guide their progress in their subsequent careers. She was specifically recognized for these contributions and became one of the very first female Iron Arrows. And as an Iron Arrow, I can tell you her own ceremonial vest hangs in honor amongst our most treasured Iron Arrow memorabilia on main campus. How did this research scholarship come about? Well, shortly after she passed away, some 7 years ago now, 6 years ago now, her brother Bill came to me with the idea of founding a scholarship in her memory. And we talked about it with some other people too, and hit upon the concept of an annual award to support the research of a deserving undergraduate in the program, specifically to support their research, which might be an additional expense beyond their tuition, their living expenses, to do exactly what they wanted to be able to do. We worked with the administration, reached out to both the alumni of the program, the entire Rosenstiel community, and I can tell you their response was overwhelming. And as Ronnie mentioned, we're now blessed with a permanent endowment for this purpose. To be honest, it's among my proudest achievements personally at Rasmus to have facilitated the little part I played in its creation. Why is this so important? Because students are critical to our marine research enterprise. Their research is critical. Their minds are so open, their enthusiasm so contagious, their energy boundless. They bring unique perspectives and skill sets to our research teams. Others may differ, but at least in my mind, supporting students investing in new people is an unmatched return upon investment. Let me introduce James Nawatney. James was a recent recipient of this scholarship. The Linda Farmer Research Scholarship, enabled him to pursue a research project under the supervision of Dr. Nikki Traylor-Knowles in my own department. The remarkable success they achieved is reported in a February 2021 publication in Scientific Reports, a prestigious international journal. The team developed and validated methodologies that enabled, for the very first time, the isolation and maintenance of whole body primary cell cultures from a critical group of ecologically and evolutionary significant marine organisms, the cnidarians, to you non-biologists, jellyfish and corals. I will let James tell you all about it himself. He'll do much better than I can.
Thank you, Dr. Ortner. Firstly, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity giving me to speak on my experience here. And I'm really proud to be able to be an example of Linda Farmer's legacy. So first off, I just want to also thank everyone who donated and made this award possible. I also believe I should thank everyone who supports academic and research scholarships in general. They make a difference for advancing and enabling any student's career. I know for me personally, scholarships and grants like the Linda Farmer Award in particular are significantly responsible for putting me where I am today. So a little bit of a story about me and how I got to where I am, or how I got to Miami is, I came out of a high school in Los Angeles and I wanted to study marine biology. I was very fortunate and privileged enough to visit and be given admission to several great universities, but in the end, I decided to come to the University of Miami and study at the Rosenstiel School for Marine Atmospheric Science. I was very confident in my decision because of the beautiful Rosenstiel campus, the fantastic faculty and students that I met while I was there, and of course, the high impact research that was being done. After my freshman year at the University of Miami, I wanted to get a head start on my potential research career. So I reached out to a few professors to see if they had a spot for an undergraduate to get experience. I'd become very interested in invertebrates and early animal evolution. So I joined Dr. Nikki Traylor-Knowles' brand new Cnidarian Immunity Lab to research early animal immune system, learning about the earliest innate immune systems within animals. And so since I had 3 years left in my undergrad, Nikki and I decided on a very ambitious project that I could take on, establishing cell cultures for coral and sea anemones. Now, cell cultures completely changed the game in mammalian biology and the biomedical field for culturing human cell lines, completely revolutionized most of what we know about modern medicine. However, this is a major missing component in most model organisms in all marine invertebrates, which comprise most of the animal kingdom. After some promising results in early trials with the help of a PhD student, Mike Connolly, we decided that it was time to fully commit to the project, and with all of my ambitious plans, I needed to get significant funding. So I applied for the Linda Farmer Award. This was the first year that the Linda Farmer Award was being offered, and I was extremely fortunate and very thankful to be their first annual recipient. It enabled me to get all of the resources, the supplies and materials that turned the project from some small investigations of an undergrad to being a full-scale cell culture operation. I was able to get various treatments, medias, and also instruments and tools that were vital to creating the data that eventually formed the publication that Dr. Ortner mentioned. So the Linda Farmer Award not only gave me the resources that I needed, but also gave me the proper experience for being an independent researcher. It allowed me to decide how to use the funds and designing the experiments to yield the data. Along with the project and publication, I have no doubt that I would not be as confident or successful as a researcher without developing those skills, which I know many other young researchers do not have a good opportunity to get until later in their careers. It was these experiences that inspired me to continue to pursue a life of research, and I am now a PhD student at the University of Maryland studying stem cells in highly regenerative worms. The experiences and accolades given to me by the Linda Farmer Award continue to help me succeed as a University of Miami Rosenstiel alumni and are important foundation to launching my research career. So thank you all again for making it all possible.
Thank you, James. That was great. I just wanted to say, I'm Jennifer Dillon. I'm the Executive Director of Development here at the Rosenstiel School. And we're going to have 4 students that have joined us today who are current recipients of scholarships at the University of Miami Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Science. And I want to say personally, thank you for this opportunity to share with you what they're doing. I think we won't be able to go through every single student. There are many more who are being funded through our scholarships. We just wanted to give everyone a little bit of an opportunity to learn what our students are doing and how scholarships have made an impact on their research at Rosenstiel. The first student we have is Ryan Hammer. He is the recipient of the Lou and Choson Mastriani Endowed Scholarship. He is working towards a BS degree in marine and atmospheric science, and he hopes to complete that in 2022. Our next speaker after Ryan will be Bianca Rout. She is the recipient of the Cornelia Loehr Memorial Endowed Scholarship. She is working towards a Master of Science degree in marine and biology and ecology. Followed by Bianca, we'll have Alexandra Norelli, who has received the International Light Tackle Tournament Association Scholarship. She is working towards a PhD in marine ecosystems and society. And she will be followed by Anastasia Platinikova, who has received the de Gunsberg Family Endowed Scholarship Fund, and she is working towards a PhD in marine biology and ecology. So each one of these students will join us now and appreciate their time. Thank you so much to the students, and take it away, Ryan. We look forward to hearing what you have to share with us.
All righty, thank you. Hello, my name's Ryan Hammer. Great to be here, and I am one of this year's recipients of the Lou and Choson Mastriani Endowed Scholarship. I'm a junior majoring in marine science and biology, and I've been fortunate enough after writing proposals and showing my deep interest in coral research to conduct an independent research project in Rosenstiel School of Marine and Atmospheric Sciences in the benthic Ecology and Coral Restoration Lab in partnership with Rescue a Reef. My project focus has been using the newly developed technology of microfragmentation fusion used previously only on fast-growing coral species and applying it to massive reef-building corals. This new development has shown that when massive coral colonies are cut up into small fragments, approximately 5 centimeters squared, a response is triggered to drastically increase growth rates, making propagation efforts a more feasible option with massive reef-building corals. And this is because this process of increased growth and fusion with other fragments allows these massive corals to reach the important reproductively viable states to begin reproduction in just a few years, rather than whereas it may take decades normally. And however, this level of focus is not enough to restore and competitively work against the forces of climate change. In my project, I create coral cookies, which are dollops of cement that are not yet hardened with 5 coral fragments pressed in. And so these cookies are allowed to harden in the lab, and then they are outplanted onto our reef nursery sites. Over time, our team's divers have collected images during the monitoring surveys at 2, 4, 6, and 8-week intervals thus far, allowing me to analyze the mortality, survivorship, and tissue surface area growth rates for each individual fragment and for the cookies in total. And where we are now, we will be able to create a deeper understanding of the distinct genotypes and species responses to varying stressors. One of the focuses and goals of the research is to gain more understanding of coral chimeras, which is a colony composed of multiple individual colonies fused together. And to me, this is a very interesting idea, as there have not been very many studies on coral chimeras before. Yet hypotheses exist where these chimeras having multiple sets of different genes could possibly allow these animals to develop greater adaptability to climate change, thermal stressors, and increasing acidification stressors. I hope to find extremely interesting results and continue the project through the summer to gain a more full understanding of the growth and interactions. I only have preliminary results at this point thus far, as massive corals are very slow growing, but I'm well on the way to form a deeper understanding of the growth and interactions that occur because of this new development, allowing for massive coral chimeras to be an option. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed hearing about my coral restoration project, and I wanted to extend my thank you to you all for my opportunity to make this possible, as I know students like myself really appreciate the opportunity to do research like this outside of the classroom setting. It has truly been an amazing experience for me. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. I'm this year's first Cornelia Loehr scholar, and I'm co-sharing it with a girl named Denise, who I was fortunate enough to meet in my tropical marine biology class. It's actually because of this scholarship that I was able to take the class with Evan D'Alessandro over the winter break, which allowed me to form a relationship with him. And it's because of this that I was able to transfer from the Master of Professional Science program into the Master of Science program, because I was able to meet his wife, Martine D'Alessandro, who works in Lehrman's lab, who is now my advisor. So I'm extremely grateful to UM and the donors for giving me this scholarship and for allowing me to flourish in this program here. I'm actually from Miami, Florida, born and raised, and I went to Mass Academy, which is a marine science high school across the street. So I've been sort of in love with the Erasmus program since I was in high school, and I'm very glad that I was able to attend this school. It's also because of Josh Coco reaching out to me that I was able to form a relationship with some of the professors here and gain an interest in coral reef restoration efforts. So in the next year, I will be working on fish predation and studying Acropora siricornis in the Lehrman lab and their restoration and growth rates all the way from the Marathon and the Keys, and utilizing different corals and analyzing their growth rates from Mote Marine Laboratory and from Seacorp International. So I'm very excited that I'm able to do all of this research, and it's because of this scholarship that I'm fortunate enough to do so. I'm excited for everything that comes in the next year. And I believe that hopefully if my research is successful and it gets published, that I will be pursuing a PhD program, hopefully at Erasmus. So I really am so grateful for this, and I'm honored, and I look forward to my next year at UM. I'm happy I get to stay.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Alex Norelli. I am a third-year PhD student in the Marine Ecosystems and Society track, and I actually do research on tropical tuna. Now, I didn't exactly expect to be doing this research when I got to Rosenstiel. I was actually a Master's of Professional Science student as well in the Fisheries Management and Conservation track. I initially wanted to go into state level management, but I had always kind of had a dream to get a PhD and pursue federal level management of fisheries. So when I got to Rosenstiel, I was actually given the opportunity to work on a side project for Dr. David Die. And while I was working on that project during my MPS, we realized that I had a very strong background in statistics and modeling, and that my ability to code would allow me to move forward with some more advanced coding with tropical tuna. When it comes to tropical tuna management, international relationships become a major thing. So as a student, I've been given the opportunity to actually attend some international tuna management meetings, and the International Light Tackle Tournament Association Fellowship is what made it so that I could actually travel to those meetings. So in 2019, I was first awarded this scholarship, and I was able to go to Madrid, Spain for the yellowfin data preparatory meeting, where I was able to present information about misreported tags in the Atlantic Ocean for yellowfin. And I was then awarded the scholarship a second time this past year, and I was supposed to go to Abidjan for a bigger meeting, a symposium of the Atlantic Ocean Tropical Tuna Tagging Program. I was invited to speak there and present some of my dissertation research, and it was supposed to be an amazing experience, but unfortunately, because of COVID, we had to cancel that trip. However, the meeting still happened, and I was able to present my research. I've also been to 2 additional tuna meetings this year, including I'm currently at one this week for the Big Eye tuna stock assessment. So I think it's very cool that this scholarship has allowed me to participate in these international meetings where I actually get to help with making major decisions about how we are going to predict what tuna populations look like currently and into the future, and how we are going to allocate that catch. So it's an absolutely fantastic experience and one that I did not expect when getting to Rosenstiel. But because of the opportunities we have here, thanks to donors and people like you, we're able to do these really fantastic things that actually end up impacting the world. And so with that, I guess, thank you very much. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have about my research.
Thank you so much. That was really great. I mean, it's just a sampling of how scholarships allow students to be able to go to professional conferences, that those experiences they'll take with them into their actual their lives as they graduate and into their careers with them. It means a lot for them to be able to do those kinds of things. Anastasia Platinikova, I have you here. You're ready for us to join. I'm going to jump off if you're ready.
Yes, I am ready. Thank you. So I'm Anastasia Platinikova. I'm a first-year PhD student in the Marine Biology Ecology Department here at Rosenstiel. My scholarship is the Ginsberg Family Endowed Scholarship Fund, and actually from 2019. I actually did my undergrad here at UM, also within the marine science, marine biology field. And as you can see, I'm now happy to be in a PhD. And thanks to this scholarship, I was actually able to realize that I wanted to continue my marine science studies and pursue a graduate degree. It just so happened that while I was doing my undergraduate degree, I was doing a work study in the Office of Undergraduate Research. And I had access to all these mentors who were doing research over at the Rosenstiel campus. And I just reached out to Danielle McDonald at the Toadfish Lab and started volunteering on a project. They were working on oil exposure and the impacts it has on toadfish stress response based on the Deepwater Horizon oil spill back in 2010. Started volunteering, really liked it, really liked the work they were doing. They're doing fish physiology work. And thanks to the scholarship, was able to finish my undergrad, graduated this past spring, and now am almost done with my first year of the graduate program. And I'm looking at serotonin dynamics in toadfish. And what's actually really cool about the work that our lab is doing now is that you can link serotonin dynamics to toadfish cardiovascular function, and that research can actually be applied to human cardiovascular research. And so without the Ginsberg Family Endowed Scholarship, I wouldn't have realized my passion for physiology, as well as my passion for working with students, as I am currently working with an undergrad in our lab and am part of the undergraduate mentoring program, which allows undergrads like myself, like my past self, to connect with graduate students and kind of learn about the pathway to get into grad school and the possibilities that there are out there beyond undergrad. So I'm so grateful to all the donors and for their time, for their efforts, for listening to our stories, because without you, we wouldn't get to where we are today. And hopefully getting that back out to the community and to students, just like you gave it to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Anastasia, and all the students. That you did a great job, and we just are really excited to see what you're going to do in your future. And thank you for your time today. I know that you guys are really, really busy, and we appreciate it. We do have some time. I think we're working really fast today. And if anybody has any questions for our students or for Dr. Ortner or Dr. Avasar, please put them in the chat here. Again, if you'd like, I'd like to say thank you for all of you joining us today, all of our supporters and all of our friends who are out in the audience. If you would like to know more about supporting our students and our scholarships, you can connect with me. I'll put my phone number and my email in the chat below. And if you have any questions, you can drop them in there. And otherwise, I will yield the rest of this time to the Dean for a few closing remarks.
Again, thanks, Jennifer. Thanks, everybody, for participating. We really, really appreciate, as has been emphasized multiple times by everybody today, the contributions that are being made and the support of our students and research in general in those very important areas. I do not have much to add, except that obviously we are very, very proud of all the alumni and current students and what they are doing. And we, again, appreciate very much the support. I just want to re-emphasize that the scholarship is a kind of a key, essential component of accessing the research and facilities and education that we provide at the school. And without those scholarships, many of the very talented students that you have seen today would not be able to participate. So again, thanks everybody for following us and for being here with us today. And I do not, I believe I see one chat. Okay, it's Jennifer's number. If there is no other question, then again, thank you and see you hopefully on campus very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.